This is Nightline. Reporting from Washington, Ted Koppel.
What she has done is inspire a generation.
I think that she's amazing.
She was saying how we should reach out to our generation.
She's like, swept me out my feet. I was like, whoa.
When Khmer Rouge seized power, Loung Ung was only 5 years old. For the next 3 years, she will bear witness to an evil most of humanity will never know. Life for the Ung family was not unlike any others. Sisters and brothers, parents who filled days with joy, laughter, love. But one day, the soldiers came. Khmer Rouge took over control of Cambodia, and the Ung family living in Phnom Penh, along with tens of thousands, including the sick and elderly, were forced to leave the city. The cleansing began. Khmer Rouge had its own ideas for Cambodia, who would be allowed to live and who would die. Pol Pot called it Year Zero.
It's state-sponsored slavery. You didn't have any rights. You can be doctors and lawyers and architects and journalists and writers. All that were abolished or banned. There were no more professions. Everybody were made to be farmers, to work in the field, to build trenches, grow food. My hands were used to opening books and playing with toys, not pulling leeches out of my toes, not pulling weeds out of the ground. My hands just didn't know what to do, and so I was slow. And as a result of that, I would be beat up.
Children were torn from their parents, all forced to labor in work camps. Many starved. Many died.
I just remember being so hungry. And one point, watching my body balloon up, and my stomach looked like I had swollen a balloon and it stuck in my belly. And I remember thinking to myself, if I take a pin and prick it, I'll just pop and become nothing.
This was the new Cambodia Khmer Rouge forced upon its people.
Then one day, soldiers came to the village and they asked for my father by his name. And my father talked to my mother and she started to cry. And then he picked up my brothers and my sisters and held us. And when it was my turn, I can still remember wrapping my arms around him, resting my face, the nape of his neck, and just holding on to him. On some level, I knew it would be the last time I would see him.
It was one of the worst genocides in history. From 1975 to 1979, Pol Pot and his Khmer Rouge systematically wiped out life as Cambodians had known it and killed 2 million people. Hell on earth for 3 years, 8 months, 21 days. But one day, the genocide stopped. Loung was orphaned and separated from any family. But the Ung children, those who survived, found each other and, like thousands of others, left to fend for themselves in a refugee camp. America offered hope. Loung was chosen. She was the lucky child. Still, safe in America, she could not escape the darkness. She could not escape her past. In Cambodia, rage helped her survive the Khmer Rouge. In America, writing saved her life. Loung Ung has emerged to become a celebrated author and an internationally renowned human rights activist, who now shares her story with captivated audiences around the world.
We were so compelled, we felt inspired to do something.
It's never been a forgotten war for me. It's never been a sideshow war.
She ignited a fire in us, and this started a chain reaction.
Loung Ung shows that your past does not have to determine your future. named one of the 100 global leaders of tomorrow, called one of the most eloquent voices for peace and justice, and a hero. After her speech, you will understand why.
You must remember how they lived, not just how they died. Because when you remember how they lived, they get to live in every single one of you.
A vibrant, funny, and wonderfully charming speaker, Loung Ung has been invited to speak at more than 100 colleges, universities, conferences, and corporate gatherings. Let her share her story of survival, of inspiration with you, because the time to make a difference is now.